It is a story that haunts me to this day, a tale of true horror that defies explanation. It was a cold and moonless night, the kind that sends shivers down your spine as the darkness envelopes you. I found myself at an old, abandoned mansion nestled deep in the heart of the woods, where rumors of paranormal activity had long since spread. A group of curious souls and I had decided to spend the night there, seeking to unravel the mysteries that surrounded the place. As we stepped into the mansion, the air grew heavy with an eerie silence, and I couldn't help but feel a sense of foreboding. The wooden floors creaked under our weight, and the walls seemed to whisper secrets of the past. I knew we were not alone. The grand hall was dimly lit by our feeble flashlights, casting long, unsettling shadows on the decaying wallpaper. We gathered in a circle, our breath visible in the frigid air, and I began to recount the tale that had drawn us here. Many years ago, I said, my voice trembling, this mansion was home to the Blythe family. They were known for their immense wealth and the dark secrets they harbored. The family had a peculiar tradition. Every year on this very night, they held a séance in the hopes of making contact with the spirit world. The group exchanged nervous glances, but their curiosity drove them to stay. As I continued, I couldn't help but wonder if we were making a grave mistake. One fateful night, during one of their séances, something went terribly wrong. A malevolent spirit, angered by their attempts to contact the beyond, possessed the youngest daughter, Abigail. Her once innocent eyes turned an eerie shade of crimson, and her voice became a sinister whisper. I paused, letting the weight of the story settle in, and then continued. The spirit within Abigail tormented the family, causing unexplainable horrors. The walls dripped with blood, whispers echoed through the hallways, and the very air turned frigid, as if death itself had taken residence in this mansion. The group shivered, the story's grip on their imaginations growing stronger. In a desperate attempt to rid themselves of the malevolent spirit, I whispered, the Blythe family sealed Abigail in the hidden chamber beneath the mansion. A powerful enchantment was placed upon the room, one that no living soul could enter or leave. My flashlight flickered ominously as I recounted this part of the tale, and the group huddled closer together. For years, the mansion remained abandoned, and the horrors within were forgotten by the world. But tonight, my friends, we have come to unveil the truth and release Abigail from her torment. As if on cue, the temperature dropped dramatically, and a gust of icy wind swept through the room. Whispers, like the ones I had described, began to echo in the dark corners. Panic set in among the group. Let's go, someone cried, but the doors slammed shut with a deafening bang. We were trapped. The room seemed to close in around us, and shadows danced on the walls. Abigail's voice, cold and malevolent, filled the air. You've come to set me free, have you? But it's too late. The enchantment is unbreakable. The group screamed in terror as the walls began to bleed, and crimson eyes appeared in the shadows. Panic took hold as we tried to break free, but it was in vain. The darkness swallowed us whole. My heart pounded in my chest as the malevolent spirit's grip on the mansion grew stronger. Abigail's voice continued to echo through the chamber, her sinister whisper sending chills down our spines. You've come to set me free, have you? She taunted. But it's too late. The enchantment is unbreakable. Desperation overcame us, and we frantically searched for a way to escape. But the room was an inescapable labyrinth of terror. The walls seemed to pulse with a sinister energy, and the crimson eyes in the shadows followed our every move. In our panic, one of our group members, Sarah, stumbled and fell to the ground. She let out a blood-curdling scream as the room closed in around her. The walls seemed to devour her, pulling her into a pitch-black void. Her voice faded into the darkness as she was swallowed whole. We were all paralyzed by fear, unable to comprehend the horror that had just unfolded before our eyes. Our group had dwindled, and we had no choice but to press on, driven by a desperate need to escape the malevolent grip of this cursed mansion. The atmosphere in the room grew even more oppressive, and the whispers of the spirits became more pronounced. "Why have you come?" they murmured in unison, their voices a haunting cacophony. "You cannot free her. We will not allow it." Tears welled up in our eyes as we huddled together, trying to ignore the tormenting spirits that seemed to feed on our fear. And that's when I noticed a faint glimmer in one corner of the room. It was a small, ornate key, barely visible amidst the darkness. With trembling hands, I reached for the key, and as I touched it, an intense surge of coldness shot through my body. The spirits let out a collective, agonizing scream that seemed to reverberate through the very foundation of the mansion. The room quaked, and a series of blood-curdling wails filled the air. It was as if the malevolent spirit's grasp on the mansion was weakening. We had to act quickly. I realized that the key might be the only means of breaking the enchantment. I approached the door, feeling an overwhelming dread, and inserted the key into the ancient lock. As I turned it, the door slowly creaked open. The moment it did, a powerful wind rushed through the room, extinguishing our flashlights and plunging us into complete darkness. We could hear Abigail's voice wailing in despair as if she were being torn apart by unseen forces. The room seemed to collapse in on itself, and we were engulfed in an abyss of shadows. The sensation was dizzying, disorienting. I had no idea if we were still inside the mansion or if we had been transported somewhere else entirely. Time seemed to lose meaning, and I felt as though I were suspended in an endless void. The whispers of the spirits echoed in my mind, and I couldn't discern where their voices ended and my thoughts began. Just when it seemed that all hope was lost, a blinding light pierced through the darkness, and the world around us began to take shape. We found ourselves back in the grand hall of the mansion, but it was no longer the decrepit, malevolent place we had known. The walls were restored, and the oppressive atmosphere had lifted. Abigail's voice was gone, replaced by an eerie silence. The malevolent spirit had been vanquished, and the mansion had been freed from its curse. We stumbled outside, our hearts still pounding from the ordeal we had just endured. The moon had risen in the night sky, casting an ethereal glow on the mansion. It stood as a silent sentinel, a testament to the horrors that had transpired within its walls. The group members who had been lost remained a mystery, their fates forever entwined with the malevolent spirit. We could only hope that they had found some form of peace in the end. The mansion remained a place of fear and mystery, but it was no longer haunted by the malevolent spirit. As for Abigail, she remained a puzzle, her true fate shrouded in uncertainty. It was a night we would never forget, a true horror story that defied explanation, leaving us in a state of shock and wonder about the enigmatic forces that lurk in the darkness, waiting to be awakened.